I mean, actually, this is a tune called Banished Misfortune. And anybody who wants to dance, this is like halfway to St. Patrick's Day, okay, right now. So you can actually... So this is, I learned this tune because of the name, so. In fact, Laura, Joy, where are you?
I'm right here.
You know, I'm sure you could vamp along with me, if not on this one, on the Country Comfort.
Guarantee you, I am a songwriter and not a musician.
Oh, baloney.
I can vocally do it, but guitar, it's gonna be rough.
Okay, well, when it comes to singing, you can sing with me, so. Now, you see how you could dance to that?
Yeah.
Come on, man. You're so white. Come on.
I'm jigged out. There's a lot of weight.
Well, that's also the reason I play with people, but I didn't want to ask anybody because I know I like to stop and I'll go fast. I'll drive anybody. And they have to follow the fiddle player, you know? So this is a song that I did. I saw Jesus on this one. My mom had died. And everybody, you know, it was like everyone gathered around. We don't have a family like that, but the neighbors, I live at the Wave, and like one gal, Jillian, comes in, she says, I have like some jasmine and a candle, and there's this song, but I don't know how it goes, and I don't know the lyrics, but it starts with, the Lord is my shepherd. Anyhow, so, you know, I thought, okay, I can get that, and so I pulled out the Bible and I put it on my mom's lap, and she was passed, she had passed. And I put my arms around her and she's there, and we started singing it. You know, I said, I'm gonna read it and she's gonna sing it. So Jillian did, and everybody joined in. And then other people came, and like Diane Ipple came and she wanted to play a tune, and my family wound up coming, which was really unusual, but they did, they made it. And after everybody was gone, Diane was still there. And we had like half an hour before they were going to pick up my mom's body, which my mom was almost 100 years old.
Wow.
And, yeah, right? It was so cool. And I held her in my arms when she passed. It was trust me, it was like the coolest, amazing thing. And my sister-in-law was right there, and all the kids. It was just great, amazing. I mean, you couldn't ask for something better. You know, if you're going to go, you got to go. So anyway, so Diane says, you know, I know you have a half an hour. I was wondering, should I call, you know, and tell them to come and get her a little sooner, because she didn't look like Mom anymore at all. And Diane says, you know, you can't buy this time back. You have a half an hour. You can do whatever you want, you know. And I thought, oh man, all this singing that we had done, and I hadn't brought up my fiddle, which is kind of weird that I didn't think of that. And so I decided to play this tune. And I might stop partway through and tell you what was going on. Man, it was amazing. I said, okay. So I had my eyes closed, and I wasn't playing particularly great, but it was cool. And I felt someone enter the room. And I look, and my mom is still passed. And I look over here, and my dad, who passed when I was 9 years old, is hovering on his side, and he's like a light body. And I was like, oh no, I can't play in front of him. He was like this virtuoso, and I can't. And I felt like these angels holding me up. I wanted to fall, and they said, they whispered in my ears, he came to hear you. I was like, oh crap. Shit, I loved him very much, but I didn't want to disappoint him, all these years later, all the time thinking how crappy I was, messing up the notes, and I could have been a contender if I really practiced, and I had the genes and I could do it, but I didn't. I went to art, I did other stuff, and I did this for fun because I didn't want the pressure. And my eyes are closed, and they're telling me just keep playing. You just got to have to finish this tune. Somebody else came in the room. Have you ever felt that when your eyes are closed? And you feel like someone entered the room? So I opened my eyes. He's still there. He's like smiling, moving, but I could see through him. I'm looking at my mom, and she doesn't look anything like she looked. She was definitely dead. And I look back at my dad, and there's my mom, leaning against his legs. Like lovers do when they make you a pillow, And she looked like she was 30 years old. I mean, she's like she always had the most beautiful smile anyway, but she was like radiant, actually literally radiant. And feel bad about where I am with the fiddle or anything else. I can play with all my love, and they're going to understand that. No matter how bad or wonderful, they love me. And they came back at this amazing time because they love me, and they know I love them. And our language was music. It always was in our family, so I decided, well, okay, I'm going to try every note. I'm going to do my best. If, this is 5 by 5, so, if it's not, well, you guys are all pretty much friends, so that's kind of nice.
Woo-hoo!
I'm looking at them and they're smiling and moving, and just hovering in the air. Made of light, I could kind of see through them. And when I realized, after all that agonizing about it, that my love would be the thing that would speak to them, I had my eyes closed, and all of a sudden, somebody else had come in the room. I just thought it would sound out. there's Diane Ipple with my dog. My mom is still dead. There's my 30-year-old mom. There's my father, who I call Papa. And there's Jesus. And I couldn't see through him. But he had one of those hearts, and he's got this gold stitching around the heart, and I'm playing, and like these angels are keeping me from falling, because all I want to do is, I want to stop. I want to run to them. I want to, and they're saying you got to keep playing. And so while I'm playing, I'm looking, and he's not that happy with me, He wasn't mad, but he's looking inside my soul. And as I'm looking, I'm studying this heart that was on his tunic, and it had all this gold stitching. And then I realized it wasn't gold stitching. They were like rays of light, of love, just like enveloping the room. It was, wow, it was. I do sound healing, and sound, like this. Well, that's something, we all know, most everyone here is a musician or loves music or something. But when I'm a massage therapist, and I use sound, I use frequencies, real specific ones. And I'm going to do like a wordless prayer, something like what Lord Joy was doing, kind of like, yeah, let's join in, So I'm going to call in the angels. I'm going to call in our families. If you have loved ones who's passed, they'll probably hear this. And it's the kind of thing that Steve was talking about. I don't look at Jesus the way the churches do, but he's very amazing. It's like, don't underestimate. It's like, actually, wow. But it can be that level, the thing that Steve was talking about. Source, creator. So. I'm going to sing, I'm going to hum, you're going to tone. Toning is like when you get the sounds going in your body and your voice. It's like totally healing. And so at some point then I'll want you to echo it, then I'll want you to harmonize with me, okay? So. Ooh.